certainly want to welcome each of you here this morning, and it is now 8:30, time for us to start our meeting, and as always, we'll start on time. Will you check your cell phones, please? And if they're on, and they still ring, we can't help that, but if you go out in the corridor, answer them, and then come back in. Having said that, I'm going to call on Commissioner Anthony Simmons to lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance. If y'all stand with us, please.
Hey, bow with me, please. Dear Lord, we want to thank you this morning for waking us up and giving us another beautiful day, dear Lord. We ask, dear Lord, that you continue to bless those who will protect us at overseas and keep so we can have a meeting of this kind. We ask, dear Lord, that you bless this county, bless this country, dear Lord. Bring us together as you know how to, only you know how to do, dear Lord. And dear Lord, you ask, would you just give us the wisdom to make decisions for all of the citizens of the county. All these things we ask in your name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll now call on Ms. Mincy White, our clerk, to call the roll of the commission.
I, Venus Mincy White, present as clerk of the Board of Commissioners of Bulloch County, hereby call the roll for those on the governing body. All those present shall answer by saying aye. Chairman Roy Thompson.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Kurt Deal. Commissioner Ray Mosley.
Aye.
Commissioner Anthony Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Jackie Stringer.
Aye.
Commissioner Timmy Rushing.
Aye.
And Commissioner Toby Connor.
Aye.
I've determined that we have 6 members of the Board of Commissioners present. Therefore, we have a quorum to conduct business for the good of the citizens of Bulloch County. I now yield the floor back to the chairman.
Thank you very much. And next on the agenda is a presentation, and I think this is probably a 1, 2, or 3-part presentation. So, Tom, did you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Just on an introductory note, you see before you the second cohort or the participants in the Bulloch County Management Development Program 2.0. This is our second academic year, if you will, and this program is sponsored by the University of Georgia, Carl Vinson Institute of Government in Athens, who brings down a facilitator, and I think you really meet over several months and weeks. And it's ultimately a management and leadership training program, which really helps us develop our next cadre of administrative leaders and managers in the county. Has helped us, again, develop a cadre of potential leaders that, if they're not already leaders, it helps them advance their skill sets in their mid to late career. I believe today they want to make a presentation as a part of their annual training or the class training. They do a community service project, and these projects are very worthwhile and meaningful, and usually a nonprofit community organization is selected, and they can tell you more about the work that they do. But Ms. Steinman, shall I defer to either you or Ms. Mallett, or perhaps someone who wants to do the presentation on behalf of the MDP candidates?
Ms. Mallett's going to introduce them.
Good morning. Cindy Mallett, HR Director. Mr. Couch summed up what I was going to sort of lead in with, and that is just introducing the program, refreshing your memory that this is the second cohort of the Management Development Program. It is a very well-respected and beneficial program that really helps existing, emerging, and potential leaders in our organization to boost their confidence, gain valuable management skills, improve their leadership abilities, and that in turn of course, benefits the county itself and our community by ensuring that these leaders are equipped to make a positive difference. So one of the milestones is a service learning project, which this group recently completed. And as Mr. Couch said, many of the participants in the class are actually here this morning and wanted to make a brief presentation to you, to talk to you about their program. I won't steal any of the thunder, but I will say that I know you will be as impressed as I was when they talk to you about what they've accomplished. So with that, I believe Ms. Maya Freeman, the corrections counselor at the Correctional Institute, will lead the presentation for the class. So I just asked Ms. Freeman to come up, and if you'll give her your attention. Thank you.
Good morning. Again, my name is Maya Freeman, and I am the corrections counselor at Bulloch County Corrections, and I'm also the GED instructor. I am part of the UGA 2024 Bulloch County MPD program. This program gives the county the opportunity to continue to provide the community with forever evolving employees by providing us exceptional opportunity for different kind of education. This program helps the county employees to continue to provide exceptional service, embrace progress, and aid our community. There are about 19 county employees part of this program that is designed to help us improve as leaders and managers by providing us with knowledge, experience, perspective, and constructive instruction. As a task within this program, we are to provide the community with an impactful and sustainable project. Our MPD class concluded that we were going to do one large project and one small project. Although there are many in need and deserving of this help, as a group, we decided to help two organizations. We decided to help this year the Till House, Statesboro Regional Sexual Assault Center and Child Advocacy Center, and Open Hearts Community Mission. We reached out to Director Lily Gray at Till House to see what was the most need for, and discovered that there was a need for a front porch repair, which became our larger project. And for our smaller project, we contacted Director Delia Mobley at Open Hearts Community Mission to identify their need. And they wanted to have 2 raised garden beds to aid in their organization's garden therapy. We were more than ready to jump in and help the organizations, and we were able to complete these tasks by utilizing our skills and using supplies provided by many businesses within Bulloch County. But now Mr. Dow Kennedy will come up and give you more details about the project.
Commissioners, Mr. Couch, as part of this, we weighed, as Ms. Freeman mentioned, we weighed several different agencies, all of them deserving, but to figure out the logistics of who we could help and have the most impact, we chose the Teal House as well as Open Hearts Community Mission. We will show you some of the pictures from Open Hearts. From the Teal House, literally the entrance of how folks would get in there. If you're familiar with the sexual assault advocacy and the center of where folks that are the victims of sexual assault, literally their entranceway to get in was crumbling in the front door. And so identifying that and being able to come in and work on that. Let me make sure I'm pointing this in the right way. We're going to bring these folks up here in just a second, but to give you some of the before and after, before, during, and after. You can see some of the pictures there. The ramp for anyone needing that with either a walker or a wheelchair was definitely lacking and getting a little bit suspect as to whether or not you could get up there. You can see the front steps were crumbling, as well as the ramp. That house, I believe, Ms. Gray, you said 1910? Okay, so it's got a year or two on it. Okay, but the fact that what I would consider a historic home still has value in this community, and able to come in and do this, to see, you had some skills. yes, that's Miss Mitzi White cheering us on, but you can see the level of disrepair. You can see the side skills that some of your folks had that maybe we weren't aware of for some carpentry. And taking this, everybody contributed. Our secondary project was creating some raised flower beds for Open Hearts Community Mission. If you're aware of when they started just a few years ago, putting something outside for their residents to be able to work on. And we're going to have folks from both of these agencies come up and show you a little bit, put a little bit of carpentry skills to work to create 2 of those raised beds that they could access, but they could also move them around wherever they needed to. So you can see a little bit of the after fixing up the rampway there aesthetically, but also structurally, so that if somebody needs to come in there, it at least looks welcoming and inviting, considering maybe the state of mind or the feeling that those folks have if they're needing to go there. Something that looks like it's at least safe to walk up the steps or safe to go up the ramp would be something that they need. We created some statements from some of our classmates. I'm going to ask Ms. Mobley and Ms. Gray to come forward to talk a little bit, and then I'll come back up. I'm going to ask if Ms. Mobley would come up first, and then Ms. Gray. One little housekeeping thing. If you are part of this class, if you would just stand up for a second. All right, you can see this is a cross-section of departments from all over the county. Folks with varying lengths of time that they have been with the county as well.
Mr. Kennedy, we might ask if there are a few alumni present. Yeah.
If you are in part of the first cohort 2 years ago, please stand up.
And I think even though she isn't present, I think in the first cohort, the tax commissioner was a member of the class. So we have a pretty well-rounded group of individuals who are going through this program. I'm sorry, Ms. Mobley, go ahead.
I'm Delia Mobley, Executive Director of Open Hearts Community Mission. It's good to see you all this morning. I appreciate you having me. We at Open Hearts were very excited when we were approached about this project. As many of you do know, that we have a wonderful mission here in Statesboro. We've been open for 7 years on July the 2nd this year, and we can house 36 people. We currently have 15. We've had as many as 20. We average about 18 a month. During COVID and sheltering in place, gardening was a godsend for us, and I realized how much our residents really needed that. And it's also been therapeutic to those struggling with addiction and mental health issues. And gardening is an activity that holds a treasure trove of benefits, offering more than just pleasure of nurturing plants. It acts as a natural stress reliever, and it allows individuals to unwind and feel a deeper connection with the natural world. The process of caring for the plants and watching them grow and flourish under their care brings a profound sense of satisfaction and joy. And it was so funny, we are now picking some of the tomatoes off the plants that we had in the raised beds and a few peppers. And the other night we were having dinner and talking about our gardens. And we also have another garden area where we have cucumbers and watermelons. And we said, we sure appreciate so-and-so for watering the flowers in the morning. And somebody else spoke, well, I water them in the afternoon. And then somebody else spoke, well, I've been weeding the gardens. And then somebody else said, well, I picked the vegetables. And so as you see, it's catching, and they enjoy things like this, and it's beneficial to them. And Beyond the personal joys and the achievements, gardening fosters a strong sense of community and belonging, as it can be a collective endeavor that brings people together working towards a common goal. And I would like to add a side note here. It was community that actually built this mission, and the support that actually helped in the community that helps to keep it going. 13 years ago, we started on this project. This community came together in a way, to build this mission. And we saw the same thing happen with these raised garden beds. They told me about going to different businesses and getting the donations, and then all of them from different areas working together for one main goal. And I really appreciate that support and coming together to support such a worthy ministry. We are excited about what is growing now, and this week, as I told you, we picked our first tomatoes and peppers off the plants. There will be herbs, cutting flowers, you name it, in those beds that we will enjoy for a long time, and they will bring color, life, and flavor to the mission. I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate all the work that you all put into it. And anytime you want to come by the mission and volunteer, we're always open for volunteers. Come see us. It's the best job in the world. I can promise you, you will enjoy it.
Good morning. My name is Lily Gray, and I'm the Executive Director of the Teal House, which is the Regional Sexual Assault and Child Advocacy Center. I just wanted to thank you all for having me today. So we provide sexual assault medical exams to the lifespan of victims here in Bulloch County, as well as our judicial circuit and some other surrounding counties. And we also provide child advocacy to children victims of any sort of assault or who may have witnessed crimes. So I just wanted to thank the county for all of the support that they always give us, and especially the group that came and rebuilt our porch. As Mr. Kennedy said, the most important thing is we want our victims to feel safe and comfortable when they have to come and see us. Unfortunately, nobody ever wants to have to come and meet us, but we're very happy that we're able to be there and to provide these services. And this project really just made everything safer and more comfortable for our victims. We try to make everything as comfortable and homey as possible inside of the building, and now people can feel that way as well when they arrive and are able to walk up our beautiful new stairs. And we were able to put some flower boxes out there, and we did accidentally kill the hanging baskets that they put, but I still maintain that that's not my fault because they died overnight. But we were able to just add some color and some hominess to this beautiful new front porch that they fixed up for us. And we are just so incredibly thankful for the support that they offered us, and then again the support that the county offers us as well. So thank you all so much.
I think the trick with the flowers is a little bit like life. If you lose them, you get new ones. In the same way that these two class projects benefited agencies that make our community better, the Management Development Program benefits the staff that makes county government better. Through this program, employees from a cross-section of county departments learn the skills to improve their workplace and make their respective teams more effective. It makes graduates not only better employees and teammates, it helps groom them, as Mr. Couch said, it helps groom them to be better managers as they step into the leadership roles over time. Ultimately, that translates to serving the community better. The management strategies that we've learned in this class will benefit the county's workforce and county government itself for years to come, we hope. On behalf of Bulloch County's second MDP cohort, we want to thank you for the support you've given this program over the last two classes. We're certain it's already benefiting departments around the county, and we hope to build on that success ourselves as well. We thank you for doing it, and we'll complete this program in October, and we hope you're able to attend our graduation. Any questions about the project or the program?
Well, speaking for myself, and I think perhaps for some of the commissioners too, I think the projects are great. We've been two this year compared to one in the first cohort, I think. I think we did some work at Safe Haven that was beneficial to the facility. And I want to thank the Board of Commissioners for supporting this program. These folks don't go off once a month and snooze in a classroom. They perform real experiential and active learning. They've got individual projects, I think, that you're working on that will conclude by the end of the training period that some of you may have attended during 1.0 when there was a presentation by the class of these projects. And a lot of these projects have actually come forward and have been used in the workplace in a useful fashion. So thank you for being the spokesperson today, Mr. Kennedy, and thank you to the class and the alumni, and finally, thank you again to the commissioners for supporting it. I think it's funds well spent.
I want to make one quick note. As it was mentioned, the materials for both of these projects were donated and collected. Nothing coming from county funds or county materials or anything like that. And specifically, and I'm calling an audible here, Jason Gammons, would you stand up, please? A lot of the materials came out of his pocket, his business's pocket, and I want to give him a special shout out for reaching in his pocket and doing part of this.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, just add one thing. Just as a reminder, these individuals were nominated and selected by their peers. So a lot of them went into this program either having only heard about it or having no clue what they were going to do. So a lot of the program is focused on getting them out of their comfort zone to learn how to be leaders. But I would also argue that many of them probably didn't know each other, and now they are one family. And also, I think there's probably about 10 people missing, maybe. There's around 20 in the class, and there was around 20 last year as well. So just wanted to point that out for you, but we do appreciate your support.
Thank you very much. I believe there's some nonprofit organizations here. They've
Oh, they
spoken
already
already. Okay. Something that I didn't fail to do it because one was here, one was not, but Christ Connect is represented here, and the Statesboro Herald is here also. I wanted to follow, I'm going to stand up for this one because it means that much. First thing I would love to see the new group that's going to take our places do is take a chainsaw and come up here and cut off about 8 inches of this screen here so they can see over them. But it's, for all of these men here, I'm going to say a few words. Thank y'all. There's one thing about Bulloch County. It doesn't matter whether you're digging a hole, you're playing marbles, you're doing anything for some organization or for somebody. You'll have more volunteers than you can utilize. I know a family that has a Christmas display, and their list is just about full already as far as volunteers to go out there and man the booth. Not because of, they might not necessarily, no, I'm not going to say that. I think everybody that goes out there enjoys it, but it's the end result, just like what y'all have done. The end result that people can utilize your talents as far as volunteering for anything. And again, I say thank you. I'm sure the other commissioners would say thank you again. And having said that, continue looking forward to whatever next year brings as far as opportunities to volunteer. Y'all know one thing, you don't have to look very far to find something to volunteer. There's always needs out there, there's projects out there, and there's people that need volunteers. So again, thank y'all for stepping up, and I think now we're going to try to take a few pictures, And Cindy, are you gonna, or Dale, somebody? Give directions. We're gonna stand up.
Let's see if we can do that. All right. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm taking as many as it'll let me click.
When you do it on first, you're gonna get one that turns out okay.
And we understand if you need to leave, now would be a good time to do so. But we do appreciate your coming. Before I entertain a motion to approve the general agenda, do we have any discussion or modifications desired by the county manager or the board?
Will the chairman yield to the county manager, please?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, everybody. We're only requesting one modification on the general agenda this morning. And under Section 7, new business, at the request of the county attorney, we're asking to remove item number 3 regarding the approval of an amendment to an interlocal cooperation agreement concerning the Statesboro Bulloch County Land Bank Authority. It's my understanding that the city attorney has asked our county attorney to pull this item to perform a little bit more due diligence, and then we'll bring it back when it's ready. But the other 2 new business items would remain in place.
Okay. In hearing that request, do I have a motion to approve the general agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Next, we have on our agenda is the consent agenda. And you're gonna have to bear with me a few minutes. We have 19 items. And Mr. Akins, our county attorney, says we do have to read all 19 of them. So I will attempt to do so. So if you'll bear with me, please. 1, approve the minutes from Tuesday, June the 25th, 2024 special meeting. 2, approve the minutes from Thursday, June the 27th, 2024 special meeting. 3, approve the minutes from Tuesday, July the 2nd, 2024 regular meeting. 4, approve a master agreement for engineering services with Hofstadler and Associates Incorporated. 5, approve a professional services agreement for water and sewer consulting services with TPR Consulting Services, LLC. 6, approve a lease renewal with Pineham Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities at 11 College Street, Statesboro, Georgia. 7, approve the purchase of 4 Stryker stair chairs from Stryker Medical in the amount of $18,071.44. 8, excuse me, 8, approve the purchase of 2 Lucas devices from Stryker Medical in the amount of $41,997.02. 9, approve a quitclaim deed to Windmill Plantation Homeowners Association, Incorporated. 10, approve the purchase of interlocking stall mat kits for the Bulloch County Agricultural Complex from American Stalls in the amount of $64,922.60. 11, approve the purchase of 2 new motor graders from Yancey Cat in the amount of $937,160. 12, approve the purchase of 2 sets of 6 battery-powered mobile lifts for the Fleet Department from Sterile Coney in the amount of $171,903.84. 13, approve the purchase of 800 feet of 18-inch culvert pipe from Cherokee Culvert in the amount of $18,624. 14, approve catastrophic inmate medical insurance renewal with Hunt Insurance Group in the amount of $18,418.56. 15, approve a services contract with Stealth Partner Group, LLC, for the performance of services related to the Employee Health Care Plan. 16, approve a stop-loss confidentiality agreement with Cigna for services related to the Employee Health Plan. 17, approve the reappointment of Brian Hendricks to the Region 9 EMS Advisory Council for a 4-year term beginning August the 1st, 2024 through July 30, 2028, and appoint Ryan Jones to the Region 9 EMS Advisory Council for a 4-year term beginning August the 1st, 2024 through July 30th, 2028. 18, grant an alcoholic beverage license for retail beer and wine sales to Krish 2024 Incorporated, located at 8741 U.S. Highway 301 South. 19, approve the purchase of a 2009E1 ladder truck from Sedan Martin Emergency Group in the amount of $590,000. That's 19 items that is on our consent agenda, and I ask you if you would like any of those moved to new business. Now is the time to do so, or we can vote on these collectively. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we vote on these collectively.
Second.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Thank you very much. Under new business, County Attorney Jeff Akins will discuss the approval of revenue bonds.
Yes, sir. The Development Authority is requesting the Commissioner's approval of some revenue bonds in an amount not to exceed $13 million, the proceeds of which will be used to finance the cost of construction of a new school facility for the Statesboro STEAM Academy. And the reason that they're asking you to approve it, you've approved some of these before in some other instances, is a quirk of federal tax law where it simply requires the approval of the chief elected official of the local jurisdiction in order for the bonds to be tax exempt. And the one thing that I would emphasize is that this is not going to be an obligation of the county or the state or the city or any other government jurisdiction. It's that the bonds will be solely paid from the revenue generated by the STEAM Academy. That will be the sole source of payment. The county will have no obligation. But at this point, I would ask Steve Rushing, the attorney for the authority, to come up and let him further explain what this is about and answer any questions you may have about it.
Thank you, Jeff. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Steve Rushing, I do serve today as counsel to the Development Authority, and it's our pleasure to make this presentation. We are a statutory development authority, and in the statute, we are permitted to issue bonds to finance certain projects that promote employment and the general welfare of our county. And from time to time, we get applications for these bonds. We have gotten many in the past that Jeff referred to from Georgia Southern University Housing Foundation, where we have issued bonds to build a good many of those facilities that are out there, and they are generally paid back by the project owner. And in this case, we received an application recently from the Charter Conservatory for Liberal Arts and Technology, Inc., and they've been around a while. They operate the Statesboro STEAM Academy. If you're familiar, they've been renting a facility since their inception out on Highway 80. That would be east. I think when that building was first built, I think it was agricultural Wheelers, was it? Yeah. And at some point when Wheelers moved out to another facility, it maybe went through a couple things before the school ended up there, but they have grown to the point where that facility is no longer adequate. And and they've been studying, this project, whether to build a new facility for quite a while. They actually acquired 51 acres of land out East Main Street, right at the Veterans Memorial Boulevard. It would be on the left as you're heading east. And now they've finally reached the point where they're ready to proceed. And some of their financial folks suggested this mechanism for financing. With these bonds, what happens is the Development Authority, after they have analyzed the project, in this case determined that it does promote and retain employment and promotes the general welfare, they've agreed to issue those bonds, and we use an underwriter that sells these bonds to qualified investors. That can be banks, mutual funds, in certain cases individuals can acquire these bonds. And we take the funds, we receive the funds through our underwriter, and we loan them to the STEAM Academy for the purpose of construction this facility. And then they pay those bonds back directly through the underwriter to those bondholders. And in certain cases, they do make those bonds tax exempt. What that means is, of course, in addition to paying the bonds back, they pay interest to the persons that acquire those bonds, and the interest income to those investors can be tax exempt. Usually it means a cheaper rate of interest, so it's a good facility for the project to finance it, also for those people that buy the bonds to earn some tax exempt interest. In any event, the project, as we're seeing, it's going to consist of a building of about 35,000 square feet. They have a little different type teaching mechanism or methods there. They use an open air collaborative design with flexible learning spaces. A lot of that is using movable partitions, post and beam elements. I don't think I saw a door in the place. There's just an open air. They move the students around, and it's really a modular type environment, but it's very effective. STEAM is an acronym, of course, for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Now, they teach a lot of areas of learning, but those are their focus, and they do a very good job at that. So we unanimously approved the issuance of those bonds, and as Jeff indicated, there's an internal revenue regulation that requires us to, it's under TEFRA, another acronym we keep throwing at you, TEFRA, Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act. And one of the regulations that it created said just what Jeff summarized, that we have a TEFRA hearing. We ran a notice in the newspaper if anyone wanted to be heard on that. And nobody showed to object or have any discussion on that. So following that, we send that report to the county, and then under regulations, it requests I think the highest elected official of the jurisdiction, which would generally be our commissioner, but in the past, we've always brought it before the whole commission so that they know what the project is and everybody's fully informed. But we're very pleased to offer this, and we recommend that you grant your approval so this project can go forward. It's about a 2-year process, about 6 months of design. I think it's about a year of construction, another 6 months of finished work before they actually let students in there. But it's a school that's been here a while. It's just they're a nonprofit corporation, much like the other two we've heard about this morning. They bring a lot to our county, and we'd like to help them if we can, so we ask for your approval for these bonds. Certainly try to answer any questions that you may have. Thank
Any
you.
questions? I will reiterate one point. No financial commitment from the county.
That's exactly right. The county, the Development Authority, the state of Georgia, we do not stand behind the bonds. They will get repaid, if at all, by the revenue from the STEAM Academy. Of course, they have tuition, they have state funds that come in, and so they've done a budget and they've shown that they can pay the bonds back. But if for some reason they fail to do so, it does not fall back on the county. That's a good point, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, if you have no questions, then I'm going to seek a motion.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve, a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Thank you. Item number 2 is also County Attorney Jeff Akins, is a joint resolution with the City of Statesboro.
Yes, sir. This concerns the Joint Land Bank Authority, the City of Statesboro, Bulloch County Land Bank Authority, which was actually formed in 2002 with an interlocal cooperation agreement pursuant to Title 48 of the Georgia Code. And the primary purpose for a land bank authority is to basically rehabilitate tax delinquent and dilapidated properties and to get them back on the tax digest. And it's really been used by the City of Statesboro for that purpose. I think they've also tried to get some properties to for Habitat for Humanity. So it's been a good vehicle for that. The county has not really used it for anything, but the reason that the county is a party to the agreement is because the statute requires a county and one or more municipalities to be a party to the agreement to create a land bank authority. Now, in 2012, Title 48 was amended to allow the creation of new land bank authorities with expanded powers regarding property ownership and financing. So the newer authorities have more flexibility. But the new law also allows existing land bank authorities to exercise the new powers if the Land Bank Authority's board elects to do so, and this is what we're here about this morning, and a new member is appointed to the authority in order to have an odd number of members. I think under the old law, it was an even number of members. Each entity made the same number of appointments. The current Land Bank Authority board members are Linda Christie and Mildred Wilson as appointed by the county, and Dolores Grooms Dickey and Michael Summers as appointed by the city. And the city has requested that the county approve, along with the city, a joint resolution to appoint John Robinson as the 5th board member. Their board, as I understand it, is already elected to come under the new law, but this would be the final step to put that into effect, is to appoint one additional member to the board. So you have before you a joint resolution that will accomplish that, and I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? Hearing none, then I'll ask for a motion.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Thank you very much. Next, we'll move into public comments, and we have 2 people that have signed up to address the board. Once your name's called, if you come to the podium, state your name and address, and you make your comments, and you will have 5 minutes, and we have the clock already set. So, call the first.
Okay, Mr. David Reed.
Good morning. I came up here about 4 years ago for this PBC dryer events. And the one was running the department, didn't do nothing about it. And Mr. James was handed a suitcase with this problem. And Mr. James has figured out, it's a problem. You got brand new houses the vents won't pass the code. Because y'all got the pictures, would you want your family to stay in those houses? And Mr. James can't go to every house and make sure it's passing the code. I mean, I don't know what y'all need to do. I mean, you got, a person don't work for the county 15 or 20 years, he don't know the code. It was me, I put my keys on the desk if I didn't know the code in 15 or 20 years. I mean, the code ain't that bad, because the dryer vent manuals tell you the hood's supposed to be 12 inches above the ground, and they got them in the dirt. Then you got PVC linings coming out, you got a trap in your line. It's a fire danger. Somebody gonna get burned up because of this. I mean, the fire don't start in the vent, it starts in the dryer when it gets stopped up. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Mr. Pope is trying to work it out, but, I mean, I don't know if retraining on do or not, You don't know your job in 15 or 20 years, something wrong. And I'm wondering what else is wrong with these houses, This is what you can see, riding down the road. Because I hate to know my youngest bought a house for $270,000, $80,000, and it's a death trap and don't know it. I mean, I ain't trying to throw Mr. James under the bus, but, I think they figured out the PVC is against the code because they ain't got to amend it. It was the county or DCA, on an amendment. Then your mobile homes is set up, the same way. I came up here 5 years ago about the mobile homes. I went one other day, a couple of months ago, your ductwork's laying on the ground. Got sanitary tees for combinations. The sewage pipe was 6 inches above the ground outside to the tank. I mean, these people's paying tax money and paying money for this service, ain't getting done. It's like me selling you a Cadillac trying to give you a Volkswagen, I don't know what to tell y'all. But ain't one or two houses, it's a good bit of houses.
Can you describe the code section or cite the code section?
The code tells you 4-inch pipe metal. That's what the code tells you. If you don't change it to PVC, you're supposed to be registered with Georgia Community Affairs. You got an amendment, then y'all supposed to pass it. And I ain't seen one.
Well, the building codes are very specific. We'd have to defer to either Mr. Pope or
See, the trouble is,
either Mr. Pope or Mr. Starling, if they wanted to comment on it.
I've been told, they got the power to change the code. That's a lie. Randy Newman said that. He could change the code like he wants to. If you want to change the code, that ought to be, every permit ought to have where we change the code written on it. You could change the code to make something work, but you can't downgrade the code. And all your manuals on your dryers tells you, 12 inches above the ground metal. You can look at Whirlpool, Roper, GE, everyone you want to see. You got the same, UL wrote one page on it. Everyone's got the same page. I think the county needs to tell these people, hey, you got a problem. Should have not, the county needs to send some letters out, knock on the doors or something, and let these people know they got a problem.
Do we have any comments from the commissioners or questions?
David's been doing plumbing a whole lot longer than I have. I know he has. So I've put in several houses, and until he brought it to my attention, I don't know about the PVC because I'm pretty sure your house has got it in mine.
No, mine's metal.
Is
At my house,
mine is PVC and all the, like you're talking about the mobile homes. I hadn't never seen a mobile home, including your son's, that vented out the side with metal. Other than the flex duct metal.
who's furnished that? The mobile home setup people or mobile home?
I can promise you know way more about the code of let and all that than I do. I'm not a plumber or electrician. I just know I've put everyone I've ever seen. So I can't argue for you or against you on this. I'm just stating that you bringing something to our attention that you said, and you know the code. You don't know what to tell us to do. I can promise you we don't know what to do, being you more licensed than we are. So I guess we just have to get together, you or James or whatever, and figure out if it can be changed. I don't know. You mentioned that. I don't know. You said it changed. I don't know if it can or not. So, but I guess you at the table with it now, and we can find out whether it can be changed or if letters need to be sent out or whatever. So, well, I guess we'll move forward to do whatever. I'm just like you. I've been to every county that touches this one, and you know good as I do, it's pretty much the same thing everywhere you go. So I guess if we got to start here, we'll start here.
But go ahead and get started and let's get the problem over with.
But if that's what it takes, then whatever you quoted a while ago, who you go through to get it changed, if they can get an amendment to it, then they amend it and situation solved.
Amendment, but you need to get a letter from the PVC makers. That's more money for them. Or GE, Roper, or anybody saying our dryer made for PVC. Or engineer, get a registered engineer, give you a letter. If you can't get a letter, it means it ain't approved, you know.
That's right.
That's
what they need to do. Then that's
is get a letter from GE, Roper, Whirlpool, or anybody, the PVC pipe makers, you know, saying our products is made for the dryers. They won't do it.
That's right.
I mean, they just won't do it because they ain't gonna be liable for it. I mean, I ain't trying to, Mr. James was handed a suitcase, and me and him talked, and he kind of figured out they was in the wrong. You know, but he was handed a suitcase, you know. So I brought the problem up to him, and he figured out, there was, something's wrong. I mean, I wouldn't want my youngest mama staying in a house like this.
That's right.
I mean, the metal pipe on the sheet's right. It's 2 lint boxes going up for the roof. But these other pictures ain't right. I mean, you ain't looking but a couple $100 more to get it right.
That's right.
That'll be it.
Marcus Toole.
Marcus Toole, 8 Crescent Avenue, Statesboro. Just wanted to, thank y'all for adding the other person to the Land Bank Authority. I think Mr. Akins did a good job of explaining the land bank, but I thought I would give a little bit more information about it. I can't tell you how many times, a few times, people would try to donate a lot to Habitat Bulloch, because, they've inherited a house or they have inherited an empty lot that they can't do anything with because it's heirs property. And what I mean by heirs property is it's a piece of property or home that's been passed down from one generation to the next, and there are so many people that have some legal claim to the property that you can't do anything with it, and someone gets stuck with paying the property taxes on it, and they get tired of it, and they try to get rid of the property and find out they can't sell it, they can't give it away, they can't donate it, they can't borrow to repair the building because, there are people who have an interest in the property who they can't find, they don't know, or are just obstinate and won't do anything about it, but they won't help pay the taxes either. So this helps to clear a lot of log jams, to have a government entity that can take these properties, cleanse the title so that the property can be donated to Habitat, or the property can be sold to a developer or some other interest that wants to develop the property and bring it back into the tax code. It usually is, most properties that end up in a land bank authority, in a land bank are properties where there's some issue with the title where the property simply can't be used. And it's either not contributing to the tax code or someone is paying taxes on the property, but they can't use the property because they don't have a clear title. They can't sell it. They can't do anything. So thank you much. The Land Bank Authority had been fairly dormant, but the city is really working on activating it and in an effort to bring some revitalization efforts to some of these low-income neighborhoods that are west of town, and to bring some of these properties back into the tax system and be useful for people to live on and so on. Thanks.
That's all we had signed up under public comments, and we're going to move next to staff comments. Have any staff members that would like to say anything?
Morning, gentlemen. Robert Siemens, Assistant Public Works Director. I just want to give you all a little bit of update, if I could, please. As of this morning, we have put a new grapple truck in operation. The members of our team over at Public Works and Solid Waste did go through some training this morning, and the truck that was ordered between a year and a half and 2 years ago did come in the other day. We've got it upfitted, and it did hit the roads this morning. So now we will have 3 primary full-size grapple trucks in place operating, and 1 small truck, which will be our backup truck. Currently, while I am here, I've just got a text that the first of the 2 roll-off trucks that y'all did authorize us to purchase last month has been delivered to Public Works. We'll start upfitting it today. The second one is supposed to be to our facility today about lunchtime. So we are making some progress there. Second part of the update I'd like to bring your attention, we are currently 14 team members short with Public Works. That is across the board between fleet maintenance, solid waste, the transportation division, and the airport. We're working diligently trying to recruit new members for our team. We've got applications coming in. We will be trying to fill these positions, but we have quite a few openings that we are not receiving applications for various reasons, and we're looking into those now, and hopefully we can try to make some shifts or some arrangements, but we are 14 staff members short. With that, I just thank you for your time this morning and want to give you all that update. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other staff comments? Then hearing none, I'll ask for commissioner comments. Hearing none, then I will say that we certainly appreciate your coming this morning. And it's great to live in Bulloch County. If you have a project that you would like for volunteers, all you've got to do is tell one person, and it'll spread, and I'll assure you, you'll have plenty of volunteers.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to say something
Okay.
just a second, if I could.
Yes, sir.
I know most of them's gone, but I appreciate everybody volunteering, especially Mr. Brian Hendricks. I know it's got to be a job to get that many pictures. I don't know how. I don't know if he's such a big fella, he winds up every one of them, but he's got to be working hard to get in front of that camera. So, no, Brian, appreciate it. Appreciate all y'all, for all you do. A little humor don't hurt anybody. But, yeah, appreciate all y'all doing. I hope you'll continue to do it. And thank you.
Anyone else? Then I am We will go into executive session, and I must now call for a motion to adjourn into executive session in accordance with the provisions of OCGA 5014-3B2 and other applicable laws pursuant to the advice of County Attorney Jeff Akins for the purpose of discussing personnel matters. And again, thank you for coming. I need a motion to go into executive session. Motion second, all those in favor? Unanimous.